this is Jillian Morris from the Investing News Network. I'm here today with Bryce Bradley, co-founder, president, CEO, and director of Thunderstruck Resources. Bryce, thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, Bryce, we asked you to join us today because of some big announcements that you've had recently. Before we dive into that, can you give our investor audience some background about Thunderstruck Resources and its projects in Fiji?
Certainly. So I co-founded Thunderstruck Resources 5 years ago with Brian London, who writes Gold Newsletter and runs the New Orleans Investment Conference. We went out and looked for high-quality assets, and after several years, we found these assets in Fiji, high-quality zinc, copper, and gold. We've spent several years tying them up. We now own them 100%, and we've just finished our first exploration program, as you know.
Fantastic. Very interesting. Can you dive a little bit deeper into Fiji as a mining jurisdiction and what sets it apart from the others?
Well, Fiji is unconventional for most people. When they think of mining, they're not always thinking of Fiji, but it is one of the best countries in best jurisdictions that one can work in for several reasons. It adheres to British mining law. It's been mining for over 80 years. One of the reasons why it wasn't mining prior to that is because it was too remote. But now, since that time, it has a deep water port, it has roads around the island, it's rich in minerals. It's one of the last underexplored countries in the world. I call it Treasure Island.
Very interesting. Now can we talk about your recent news? Can you please tell our audience about your discoveries on your properties and the recent gold found at Leeward Creek and the copper at Rawa Creek?
Sure, certainly. We were able to squeeze in 2 exploration programs before the rainy season last fall, which ended in December. Leeward Creek, as readers can find out if they go check out our news releases, Leeward Creek had some prior work done on it historically, so we knew there was gold there, but so we went in and did a bunch of trenching and auger soil samples, and it came back very high-grade gold. It looks like we have a gold asset at least 10 square kilometers in size. With Rama Creek, Rama's a copper porphyry, and we already knew that is a copper porphyry. There had been drilling by Anglo in the past. We had to get back on that property to bring it into current methods. And we were very happy to find out that just to the south, 1 kilometer, we made another gold discovery. Again, Fiji's just filled with discoveries.
Wow, so you've had a lot going on already in 2018. It seems like a really good year, starting off really well, and I can feel the momentum going forward. Can you tell our audience about your future plans, what we've got coming forward, and your long-term goals?
Oh, certainly. 2018 is definitely going to be a good year for us because it was quiet. We were in a bad market for the last several years. We were also quietly trying to purchase and get all of the permitting in place, which we now have. And we have digitized 40 years of data, so we spent several years trying to amass all the data of all the work that had been done by Anglo in the past and other Behringer and other companies. So we now have a digitized data room, which joint venture partners, prospective joint venture partners, are now looking at. And additionally, what we are doing right now is we have an artificial intelligence technology that is in our digitized data room, sifting around, and it has an algorithm that delineates targets for us. Not that we need that many more targets, because we seem to have a lot going on already, but it will be very efficient when we send the crew onto the ground to do some geophysical work in the next month or 2. We have quite a fairly large, expansive land package, so this artificial intelligence algorithm will pinpoint very specifically where we should be focusing and where we should start drilling for 2018.
Wow, that is absolutely fascinating. I look forward to hearing more about
that. It's the future, apparently.
Yes. So my last question for you today is about your management team. Savvy investors know that a strong management team is key to success of a company. Is there anyone you'd like to highlight? Anyone that's been very important to you?
Geez, I want to highlight all of them. I co-founded with Brian London, as I mentioned, and since we've purchased all of the assets, we've strengthened our board technically and our management team technically. We have brought on Linnea von Hessert, someone I went to university with. She's a geologist, worked throughout the US and Canada for 20-something years. Lawrence Ralston is also now a director. He used to write a newsletter that many subscribers will know called Resource Opportunities, and he's very well versed on the venture capital scene. He's also recently become president of Oramex, and he's on the board of other companies, so he's a good find. Also technically, we have just announced that Morgan Poliquin is an advisor to us. He, not only is he a copper porphyry expert, he loves our copper porphyry Rama Creek, but he also, and he runs Almaden and Almadex, but he did his master's thesis in Fiji, so he spent a full year there working on the gold mine to the north of us. So he's very familiar with the country, the culture, and the mineralogy, so he's a great find. Chris Raffles, our qualified person, so you'll see him on every news release, and he's been to Fiji twice on our behalf. He will be managing and putting together our exploration program for 2018. And on the capital market side, I'm thrilled to have the assistance now of Tookie Angus, who he's done more things than I can possibly list really at the moment with the time that we have. However, yes, he's done $6-7 billion in mergers and acquisitions. He sits on a few different boards, and he's going to be of great assistance to us when we sit down with joint venture partners and also to decide how to advance all 4 of these assets. We have a lot of really good decisions to make in the near future. So and then of course there's me, and though my history is in investment banking, but I think my skill set is mostly in assembling people that are far more intelligent than me together to help advance this company, Thunderstruck Resources, to make us all a boatload of money. So we'll see.
Well, that sounds like you've got a really good team together, and thanks again so much for joining us. This is Jillian Morris from Investing News Network, and here with Bryce Bradley, co-founder, president, CEO, and director of Thunderstruck Resources. Thunderstruck trades on the Toronto Venture Exchange under AWE.